What does this, and this all have in common? These are all things you can grow food in. What's going on, everybody? Dre over here at Set Apart Gardens, man, where we're teaching people to get back to the land, teaching people to become self-sufficient. So today I want to talk about the many methods you can grow food in, and why does this even matter? Because a lot of people think oftentimes, oh man, I need to have this huge plot of land, or I need to have this specific setup, or I need to have that, you know what I'm saying, to grow food. And it's like, no, you can literally start growing food in this right here. You can literally start growing food in something that can hold soil. It doesn't take a lot. Growing food is possible just about anywhere. I don't care if you're in an apartment. I don't care if you're in a townhouse. I don't care if you got a small yard. I don't care. You can grow food on the balcony. You can grow food, you know, on a little space just outside. If you got a small backyard, you can have a small garden, but growing food is possible everywhere. So depending on where you're at and what your situation is, it's going to look different. So I'm going to give you a bunch of different options on how you can plant things and what you can plant them in, and you know, just how you can just start growing some food yourself. So the first option is this, and this is going to be the cheapest, most simplest method that you can do, and that is direct sow. Now, as y'all can see right here in my garden, we have some little landscape fabric down, but before then we just direct sowed, and this still counts as direct sow, but direct sow, you know, just plain and simple, is just you tilling the ground and you plant it, you making rows and you planting seeds in it, right? You don't have to have any fabric down, you don't have to have any, you know what I'm saying, add any soil or nothing like that. You could just direct sow into the ground that you have right before your feet, right? So you can get a tiller, or you could do it manually, you know, with a garden tool, you know, whether it's a garden hoe or you know, a pickaxe or whatever it is, right? But you can manually sow seeds into the ground, and that's going to be the cheapest, and that's going to be the most simplest way, and that goes back in history. That's how a lot of our ancestors grew food. They just directly sowed it into the ground. They tilled that ground. They might have had a plow with the ox or a donkey or something like that, or they might have just manually tilled it with hand tools, but that's what they did. They tilled in the ground, and that's the first, and like I say, the cheapest and the most simplest option. But that's only if you have the space to do that, right? So even if you have a standard sized backyard, you can do it. But let's say you don't have a yard. Let's get into another option that you can do. And so another option you can do is, y'all see my raised beds right there? You could build raised beds. So I'm gonna show you different types of raised beds that we have in our garden, right? So we have raised beds that I built out of wood, whether it be 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x8s. You also have, like, say if you had like a water trough. I think that's what it's called, like a circular water trough that was pretty deep. You see what I'm saying? And what we did was we had one of those, and it kind of rusted out at the bottom. And so what we did was we just kind of put that in the area. We knocked the bottom out of it, put it in the area, and we put some soil in there, and we started planting in it. Another thing you could do is this. You have different garden beds from different brands. One notable brand is Vigo garden beds. If you want a discount code for a Vigo garden bed, you know, you want a garden bed that's going to be aesthetically pleasing, that's going to last a long time, where you get pretty much a guarantee that's going to last at least 15 to 20 years, and it looks good. You ain't got to worry about no HOA, you know, trying to come after you because it looks ugly. No, you don't got to worry about none of that. If you want a professional looking garden bed, check out Vigo garden beds, man. You can use my discount code to get a discount. But you could do the Vigo beds. You can build raised beds out of wood, you know, scrap wood, whether it be, like I say, 2x4s, 2x6s, wooden pallets. You can use wooden pallets. So raised gardening beds is something that's another option as well. Let's say you're limited on space and you don't want to direct sow, or you want to do a hybrid method like direct sow and raised bed gardening, then go ahead and figure out what works for you as far as your setup. Get that raised bed, and look, this is one of the best things about raised bed gardening, right? The drainage is going to be great on it. Also, you can control the soil. When you're direct sowing, you can make amendments to your soil, but your soil type is usually going to be what it is depending on the region you're at. Like, say if you're, you know, in middle Georgia, right, where you got more of that red clay dirt, right? Down here we don't have that, so we can't really grow certain things that they can grow in middle Georgia down here in southeast Georgia, coastal Georgia. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to raised bed gardening, you can literally control the soil and make your own mixture. So let's say you want to put some coconut husk in there with some black cow, with some regular soil, you know what I'm saying, with some manure or whatever. You know, you can mix, you can make your own mixture to pretty much grow what you want to grow. You know what I mean? So that's one of the positive things about raised bed. So that's option number 2, raised bed. So the next option is this right here, old handy dandy bucket, right? You can go to Walmart, you can go to Harbor Freight, you can go to Lowe's, you can go to any of these places and buy buckets for, you know, a good price, $3 to $5, right? And you could buy those, you could buy a few of those, fill them up with soil. You know what I'm saying? You could probably use, for 2 buckets, well, take maybe 1 bag of soil, right? Maybe 3 buckets, right? So you can get a few buckets, start growing food in there, whether you want to grow tomatoes, whether you want to grow lettuce, potatoes, peppers, all that. You can grow it in buckets as well. Just make sure you drill holes in the bottom of this bucket to allow for drainage. But this is the only thing about it. And well, this is the thing. If you have limited space, buckets and totes are going to be your best bet. But let's just say you have the space. Here are some of the cons. So with buckets, you're not going to be able to grow as much as you may want to. You see what I'm saying? And also the soil is going to dry out quicker, so you're going to need to water it more frequently and things like that. But nevertheless, you still can grow food, so that's a great option. Next option, get you an old tote, old bin that you can use. Well, this old laundry bin you ain't using no more. You could buy the brand new heavy duty ones or whatever you want to do. You could do it inexpensive, or you could buy quality, you know what I'm saying, for a good price. But however you do it, that'll give you more space than, say, your typical bucket. That bin right there, you can grow more food in it than a bucket, but you could also still get away with not having a lot of space or a lot of surface area to grow. But that's another thing as far as how you can grow food in there. And you may need 1 or 2 bags of soil, fill that up depending on, and you can make your own mixture. Like I say, if you're not direct sowing, you can pretty much control the mixture of soil with amendments and different things like that. You want to add certain things in it to make your soil more airy, or maybe, you know, make it more drainable. You know, you could do that. So that's the next option, which is your totes and your bins. And here is option 5. You have these grow towers. Now, my wife bought these grow towers. We put them on both sides. Hold on. We put them on both sides of the entrance of our garden. My wife, she bought those, you know, because they're aesthetically pleasing, but also you're able to grow vertically. So let's say you don't have a lot of space for the totes or whatever, and let's say, you know, you don't necessarily want to do the buckets because the buckets are going to take up a lot of space because you're going to need multiple of them. You can vertically garden, right? And in each one of these sections, right, you can plant different things. So we have peppers growing in there, tomatoes, we have lettuce growing in there, spinach. All of these things are growing simultaneously in this vertical grow tower, right? So you can grow vertically as well, and you can grow multiple things. So let's say you don't want to do the buckets, you can vertically grow, and you can grow multiple things at once, you know what I'm saying, and grow a variety of things. So, and it'll be aesthetically pleasing as well. So those are the main options that I would suggest. Now I'm gonna give you some honorable mentions, right? Let's say you got, you know, some tires left over, you know what I'm saying, some tires that you ain't using no more, that you come up for free or whatever. You can plant inside those tires. Let's say you have barrels that you're no longer using no more. You know those plastic barrels, most of them be blue, I think, but you got some of them that's white. But those plastic barrels, you can cut those in half, you know what I'm saying, vertically. You can cut those in half, lay them on their sides, and you can grow in those as well. I've saw my aunt do that before, right? Another thing is this, grow bags. You can buy grow bags. You can plant pretty much anything, but one of the main things that you can plant in grow bags is potatoes. And you can grow a lot of potatoes in grow bags, so you can get big grow bags as well. But here's the thing, this is the overall point. There is no excuse not to grow anything. Go out there. I don't care what method you use. I don't care how you choose to go about it. Just get some soil and plant a seed in there and start growing some food. And here's the question. Out of all of these methods, which one is the best? I'm going to be honest with you. The best is whatever suits your lifestyle. Because it depends. We all have different goals and unique lives. So your goal may be just to have a simple kitchen garden and to start developing your green thumb. Okay, let's say you want to just do it and get a grow tower so it can be aesthetically pleasing. You can grow some herbs, grow a little bit of tomatoes, a little bit of peppers, a little bit of, you know, salad greens. Okay, go get some grow towers. It's going to look well. It's going to be nice. You know what I'm saying? You can get them in pink, white, whatever color you want to get them in, right? Or let's say you live in an HOA. You live in a neighborhood where you have an HOA and they're super strict about appearance and all that good stuff, aesthetics. Go get you some Vigo garden beds. You know, you got all different, you don't just have to get the type that I got. You can get the ones that really stand up off the ground. You know what I'm saying? You can get the more circular ones. They're you know, whatever suits your need, and you can get them in different colors, right? That'll be aesthetically pleasing, and you can grow food in it. But here's the thing. The best method is the method that you choose that works for your lifestyle right now. So if you stay to the end, man, first and foremost, I appreciate it. If you like this content and videos like this, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you ain't subscribed right now, matter of fact, go check and see if you subscribe right now before I say anything else. All right, if you ain't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, man. Hit that like button. Also, if you like the video, hype it up, man. But here's the overall goal, because my goal is to teach people to get back to the land. That means at all stages, whether you're beginner, intermediate, whatever. And I want to teach you what I know. So if you want to see content like that, hit that subscribe button, man. Learn. And if you got questions, ask them. Drop a comment down below if this video was beneficial and what you found beneficial about it to your lifestyle. Because here's the thing. There is no excuse. We all got the same 24 hours. And yes, your situation, your living situation might be a little unique. But here's the thing. There's no excuse to not grow any food. And let's just say you don't have space to do any of this. Go and see if there's space that you can rent. There's space that you can join a community garden. You see what I'm saying? You can ask a relative, can you start planting food in their backyard? So there's no excuse. Where there's a will, there's a way. But here's the thing. We need to start growing food, because if we don't know how to feed ourselves, if we don't know how to provide the basic necessities for ourselves, we're at the mercy of the powers that be. And I'm going to leave y'all with this. I always say this at the end of every one of my videos, so say it along with me if you know what I'm finna say. He who has the power to feed you also has the power to starve you. See y'all on the next one.
Bombs over Baghdad really ain't that bad. Little wiretap, yes, yes. Little dodge in the IRS. Little haven from the taxman.